Alright, everybody, we are getting going, seeing if get a good connection to start this live stream. Just waiting for practice to start, names to be put in. We'll get you up and going as soon as everything's set. All right, and we're off.
Got a question? Come and see me. Thanks. All good. Have some fun. If you bowl bad,
Looks like we
there's always the afternoon.
about to get ready to go start practice. Try to do some editing. Practice is coming on for about 12 minutes. Gonna try to get this up on Joliet's Facebook page, and we'll start streaming. All right, so here is the practice session of the 2016 Illinois Youth All-Star Shootout. Format is kind of an interesting one. We've got games 1 through 4. We're going to take a break, about 20 to 30 minutes, so the kids can get something to eat. And then we're also going to have games 5 through 8 after that. Give me a little bit, and we'll be back to you with the game 1. All right, so back again. How the format is going to be played. Games 1 through 4, we're going to have all the divisions play 1 through 4 across 36 lanes, I believe. And then they're going to take about a half-hour break, come back, bowl 5 through 8. We're going to have the top candidates be awarded for their trophies. Practice just finishing up. 5 minutes left here. We'll have scrolling standings and updates after each game, so we'll keep you informed with who's in the leaderboard and everything like that. Honorable mentions as kids come through, just who is past winners and in the other divisions as well. Got a couple good collegiate bowlers here as well that we'll try to point out to you. And hopefully see some good scores today. Be back in about 5 minutes with game number 1. All right, and we're off. Game number one.
Down momentarily, so hang tight with those.
I'm going to try to switch back and forth between the pairs just to make sure everybody gets some equal time, something new Illinois Youth is trying. Big tournament, 80 bowlers, different divisions, U15, U20. Quite a few good bowlers here as well. So once again, games 1 through 4. We'll bowl 4 straight. I believe they're moving after each game. Depending if they're on the left lane or the right lane, they're going to be moving left and right. So left lane will jump a pair to the right, and right lane will jump a pair to the right, or the left lane will jump a pair to the left. I believe they are skipping a pair also. Hopefully get everybody a chance to be on at least one of the live stream pairs. Looks like we got a couple collegiate bowlers. I think I see Brandon Biondo. Trying to look for some other ones. Have some college coaches here too. I think Eric Littig from St. Ambrose University is here. The couple girls he has. Kayla Crawford, who actually won the U20 last year, trying to regain her title this year. So that'll be a good one to watch if she catches the live stream pair. Pattern-wise, all I was told is it is a WTBA medium pattern. I guess they are trying to keep it under secret due to Junior Gold now not broadcasting the patterns ahead of time. So since Junior Gold will be held in Cleveland next year, they will win spots to go to that for the next year. This year, Indianapolis. If you want to come out, say hi. We'll be there. We'll be there. We got Zach Singer up on the left lane. A 2-pin. And I apologize if any names are butchered at all. I do not know nearly everybody in youth bowling like I used to, so bear with us as we continue to learn the names and pronounce them correctly. So Benji up on the right lane, shooting at the 1-2-10. Brandon Matchin up on the left lane. Brandon, number 30 up on your left-hand side. Thought he was going to miss that, but luckily converts it. Like always, all the footage will be archived after the event on YouTube in case you missed anything or want to rewatch it. Sarah Willie, I believe, will be up on the left lane coming in, working on a spare. 290 possible still. She goes high and carries it. Wow. 6-pin falls late, gets the Brooklyn strike. transition to our other pair, 1920. Looks like we got Caitlin Keith, Dana Ackerson. Not sure the other initials up just yet. She crosses over, goes Brooklyn. I think it might be a little too early to do scoring predictions. Oh, and she almost converts that. Might be a little early to do scoring predictions just to see what the kids can come up with, see if they can work together to create a hole and be able to kind of turn this pattern into a house shot. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have a indication as to what pattern it actually is, but if you look at the WTBA patterns online, it is one of the medium patterns. So like I said, after each game, we'll try to get a updated standing sheet. And in between the transitions, we'll try to catch both pairs. Brandon Matchin, who we just saw on the previous pair, looks like he is 9 count in the first and then double. Go back to Sarah Willie, see what she moves off that last shot that went a little high. Or if it was just kind of came off her hand, but that looked a little better, a little light. 2-4-10. In the meantime, I will be right back and to make sure everything's ready for our standings update, and we'll be back. Sends the rack at that one. Just got back in time to see the 10 fall on Sarah Willie's last shot. So see what's going on their pair and see if once again, Illinois Youth All-Star Shootout, presented by Pepsi, Brunswick, and Joliet Town and Country Lanes in Joliet, Illinois. I have a list of past winners, and hopefully we'll get a couple of them to come through. I know quite a few of them have aged out from youth. A.J. Johnson, Kyle Anderson have won this. Dakota Vostry, Kayla Crawford, Giselle Poss. Quite a few good collegiate bowlers. Got Caitlin Keith up on the right and Violet Kirk up on the left. Looks like she'll get 4 on that fill shot. That reaction doesn't look like that's what she hoped for out of that, but hopefully she'll get the conversion. Dana and Natalie coming up. Scrolling through my past winners to see if any of the names sound familiar. So. Hopefully if we see any big scores, we'll try to bring it to you. Looks like actually right in front of the booth we have somebody who has a front 6, and don't know the initials, but we'll see who that is and try to keep up with that. Caitlin Keith actually won it in 2013. Just scrolling through, and looks like so up on lane number 19 now. Front 7. I did not see the name, but it looks like second bowler on lane number 27 has the front 7. We'll see when the scores come back around to see who that is. And Dana strings a strike there. See if we can go to our other match and see. Sarah with a turkey. Eric Julian with the front 7. See if he can get number 8 here. Keep an eye on him. Looks like he's throwing a crux. And he does it. Front 8. See if we can get see if we can stream that on video for you. Sorry about the blurriness. It looks like we have people sitting at the tables that tend to bump them, so it'll happen occasionally. Hopefully they go back into focus pretty quickly, but no promises as Alright, so let's see if I can add this camera. Front 9. So 10th frame coming up. Got all right, so final 10th frame coming up of game number 1. Try to get you some scores ahead of time before they're calculated on some of the live stream pairs. So Brandon Biondo on the left-hand side. 310. So front 10 for Eric Yulian. So we'll see front 11. For Eric Yulian. Like I said, if I pronounce anybody's name wrong, please feel free to yell at me. Apologize not having a video for this final one. Let's see if I can. And Eric William, 300. Try to get that final shot up on the live stream in just a minute. In the final seconds, we'll watch the 10th frame wind down.
All right, bowlers. Playing 27 and 28 with a perfect 300. Scott Julian. Congratulations, Eric. I was looking right at his dad when I said it. Eric Julian, 300.
So very cool. Maybe we could grab a word with him in the break and see what he was using, what he was thinking. Trying to figure out what other bowlers are going on. See if I can. Final games finishing up here. Kick it over to the other pair to see what they are finishing up with. Looks like they are just about to finish their 10th frame. All right, so we have Eric Illiam's final shot of his 300. See if we can get that for you during the intermission of game number 1. All right, so as game number 1 rattles down,
Attention parents, we'll be having a couple ladies walking around selling raffle tickets for a DBA bowling ball. You'll get a certificate, you'll send it in, and you'll get the DBA of your choice. Ticket prices are 3 for $2, 8 for $5, 20 for $10, and 50 for $20.
it's like, I believe that was Brandon on lane 31, ended up 213, pretty good score. 300, I am assuming, will be leading it. Game number 1. Sarah will be in the 190s. Zach be in the 140s, 150s, depending on the spare. 1920 just finishing up as the transition happens. Well, looks like Sarah's finished with 200 on the dot. Benji 177. Zach 145. I believe that's Brenna 130. Brandon 213. Just trying to figure out how to get his final shot of his 300 up. Looks like we got Bobby Habetler, Charles Bachman,
Attention bowlers, if you could please double check and make sure that you have written your scores down correctly. You don't have to bring your scores up. They'll be picked up at the end of the day. Just please make sure you write down your scores. Thank you.
We're just waiting for 1920, see who's coming up there. Jason, lane number 32. Left-handed two-hander? He is. Definitely a style that is up and coming, not two-handed in general, but also seeing more and more left-handed two-handers. That's a mouthful. Trying to add a different aspect to the up-and-coming bowling age. All right, looks like we have Emily Schrader, Ariana Gorino. I believe Emily, let's see.
Tell me if you see my name.
Emily Schrader looks like she won in 2014, so past champion on 19 and 20 right now. All right, sorry about that. Kept it waiting for about a half a game. Just wanted to make sure our standings came in, so we're going to go over to those really quick. Have it scroll around again. Looks like Kayla Crawford for the girls in U20 is in the lead. She shot 231 her first game. U20 boys after game one, Eric Julian, 300. Chris Willie, 240. Austin. Try to leave that scrolling for maybe twice around. Make sure everybody gets to see who, how far they are out. Then we'll go back to our 31 and 32. Have Vince Biondo in the booth a little later. Probably after game number 2 here, or after the break. See what he thinks about the lane play, who's doing what, ball changes, surface, etc., etc. So U15 girls after one, Mabel Cummins, 223. That's a good score. U15 boys after one, Alexander Nolan, 188. It's about a 40-pin lead over Charles Bachman. So your U20 girls after game one, Kayla Crawford, 231. Peyton Addig, 221. So about a 10-pin lead there from first to second. Jordan Newham, who took the title a couple years ago, 173, I believe I saw. U20 girls, in 16th, Caitlin Keith, 154. After this cycles through, we'll get back to 31 and 32. Austin Bull, 216. 60-pin lead for Eric. That's a pretty good start. Let's see if, don't quite know where he might have jumped to. I don't know if he, it looks like he's actually directly left of us, so that's, can see what he does. It looks like he has 107 going into the 7th, so. Scores not outrageous. Nobody really running away with it after 8 frames of game number 2. Looks like it's tamed out a little bit. See what happens after the break, too. That'll be always interesting. Kids get a little food in their belly and help calm them down. right, so just finishing up game number 2. See what we can find out. So 230 for the girls in U20, 220 for the U15, I believe, and U15 girls. 300 for the U15 boy or U20 boys. Sorry. 220 for the U15 boys, I believe. So definitely some good bowling going on today. See where the standings level out at the midway point. Looks like they're just finishing game number 2. 4-game format for this first block. Half-hour break. Come back, do it all again for 4 more games after the break. They get something to eat and cool down a little bit. No re-oil. I believe they just go straight at it. See who we have jumping this way for live stream. See if I can see any names. I think Jacob, nope, that is, they are going left. So how they're rotating is left lane will jump a pair to the left. Right lane will jump a pair to the right. So they'll skip a pair and go to the next one. And they'll continue on through the house. We're using lanes 11 through 42. Try to bowl with somebody different. And cross with somebody different. Sean Walkner, I believe, is here from Whitewater. Looking at possible recruits, I believe, for upcoming collegiate seasons. Eric Littig, like I mentioned, for St. Ambrose. Watching one of his girls, Kayla Crawford, bowl. All right, transition time. Looks like 1920 is finishing up 30. 1 and 32, I believe, is almost done. $148, $186, $145. Looks like everybody's just moving from pair to pair. Gets settled in, waiting to see who jumps on. See if we can get Vince in the live stream. Brought to you by Pepsi, Brunswick. This is the Illinois Youth All-Star Shootout at Joliet Town and Country Lanes. Pattern is one of the WTBA patterns, medium length. Don't have a name or length. $80 bowlers. Typically, prize fund for first place for the U20 is right around $750 from what I've seen in the past. So we'll see if they get that much for this year. Trying to get some scrolling standings in there. Sorry, it's a little jerky, but for the transition to happen. All right, looks like we got up on 1920 Chris Willie, Alan Nordman. I believe Chris was chosen for junior team last year in Chicago for junior gold. Trying to verify that. I don't remember if that's 100% true, but I believe I remember hearing his name, so. Looks like it's starting to get squirrely. Bowler struggling with transition, movement, seeing why and what's going on with that. Chris makes the spare. Zach Sasser. Mackenzie Julian. Oh, catches a break. A 3-pin. Looks like he will. I apologize. It was the 3-9. I did not see the 9 in there, so. Chops the spare. Chris looked like he liked that one. Waiting on results for after game 2. Looks like we got Jared Sense on our other pair. He won in 2014 and 2012, so. Don't exactly know where he is at in the standings. I will try to sort through that and see what he shot the first game. Looks like he's in 18th with a 170 the first game, so. See what he can do this game and move up the standings. Maybe every other year, kind of like the Blackhawks winning the Stanley Cup. So we'll see if he can pull that off. Alright, sorry about that. Looks like we were having some issues with the scrolling standing. We're still waiting after game one to see who might be leading. We're going to jump to our other pair. So far, I talked to a couple coaches from the colleges here. They said it is definitely struggling on the low end. It looks like it's playing a little more tighter. 19, 20, and down left of that all the way to 11. Than the higher end. Like most of the time, they said, if the people that are going to move up in the standings are going to make their spares and get those strikes will come and just catch a couple breaks and you'll be up there. So watch for that. Eight games, two 4-game blocks. Medium pattern on one of the WTBA's. Junior gold spots to 2017 Cleveland Junior Gold. Along with scholarship money, there's a bowling ball raffle that's going on. Illinois Youth All-Star Shootout, presented by Pepsi, Brunswick, and Joliet Town and Country Lanes. So what we'll do at the break, we'll break for lunch, about a half hour. While the kids get something to eat, make some camera changes and just see if we can go from there. Game 3 underway, 6th frame. Chris Willie's pair, Eric Olean. That is the gentleman that shot 300 first game here. We'll try to find his final shot and post that as well. As he carries a 4-7. Potential 238, I believe, for him still. And a good spare for Chris, as he stays clean, covering the 3-6-7-10. Straight 8 games, no match play, no semifinals, just top bowlers after the 8 games win their share of the prize money. Oh, as Brandon Biondo almost carries the 3-6-10. Zach Sasser up on the lane number 19. See if we have update yet. Looks like we're waiting for a ball on lane 20, so we'll try to cut over to the other pair for a little bit. Don't forget, like Joliet Town and Country Lanes on Facebook. See upcoming specials tournaments. They ring a King of the Hill every couple Fridays. Illinois Youth All-Star Shootout. All right, see if we can All right. So we got Vince Biondo.
Yeah, Joey, hi. It's a pleasure to join you today.
It's always a pleasure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you see anything out there that I don't know length, I don't know name, I don't know anything. Anything stand out to you?
They didn't give us the name of the pattern. I guess tournaments are starting to go that way a little bit, and I guess they wanted to get a head start on it, so they didn't give us the name of the pattern, but somewhere between 37 and 41 is my guess. This house tends to be a little bit, wants to hook early and labor at the back. But it looks touchy out there. So pretty flat in the middle. That 300 game one was a little surprising to me.
I was not expecting that.
No, he wasn't doing a whole lot to the ball. He was kind of just feeding it to the track, and it rolled right up. So he really rolled a nice game.
I saw some kids try to get out to like 5, and it just kind of stayed. So I didn't really know what to expect. Whether they thought surface was going to be necessary or really what was going on in their heads. But that 300 game took me by surprise when I heard some of the other scores. Just a little all over the place.
They weren't overly high game one, and it was obviously can't start much better than that.
Yeah,
so and the last 3 were right there. So it wasn't even a situation where he maybe gone Brooklyn or whatever. The last 3 he just packed them. So
yeah, the ones previous to that were the same way. So I don't know what he ended up doing game 2 off the top of my head.
I think he was around 170 actually.
Okay.
So he must have
leveled out
a little bit. So if I saw the scores right, it was like 470-ish.
Gotcha.
After 2. So. But, there's a lot of talent out here today. They got a really good turnout, and young, all the way up to college kids. So it's great for the sport right now. So
definitely. Your son's bowling, Brandon's bowling, and saw him kind of catch a couple pairs. How's he doing?
Yeah, he started off with urethane, trying to play right, trying to take some of that. Create a little bit of hold for himself, but that started to hook a little early, so then he had to change, try to stay right with a more aggressive ball and less hand, and worked for a little while, but just real touchy. Again, it's real speed sensitive right now is what I'm seeing.
Awesome. Yeah, we were just told that we have a PDF update of game by game for each individual, so that'll be take a look at that in a little bit. But yeah, the pattern definitely challenging.
Yeah, I think right now what I'm seeing is just something that's controllable, something you can kind of feed it to the spot, which it isn't really defined very much right now. It's somewhere between 9 and 12 with not a real aggressive ball, but it's got to be enough, because if you leak it past that, you're in 2-8-10 territory. So you got to be careful.
Which we have seen. Definitely some confusion you can see on the bowler's face. Just thought it was a good shot and just wiggled or came a little right. And
I mean, just looking up on the board now, I'm not seeing a whole lot in terms of scores. I'm just at this point, I think it's going to be. Just keep grinding and try to find a nice pair, and we'll see if they open up here. But there's only 5 on a pair, and this house just has characteristics. I'll tell you, I've bowled here a few times, and it just seems like it burns early, and then it labors at the back, and you just leak one out, and it doesn't want to turn the corner. But in the pins, they use the twisters in here, so that adds a little dimension. The noise in here is a little different.
Right. And I think that kind of plays with everybody's head, whether you're a kid or an adult. Just because you think you made a good shot, or either you think you made a good shot and got lucky with one and maybe just sent some pins flying and make an adjustment, and it's not the right one. You just
yeah, exactly. And then you're searching, and then you go beak and you leave a split, or you whiff an easy spare, and then all of a sudden you're really working uphill. So, but looking at the scores here, you've got only 3 guys plus. So after 2, so and it's so anybody's tournament right now. It's still within reason. There's plenty of games left. So
yeah, it'll be interesting after the break to see what kids
Yeah.
come up with.
And how the lanes, because even that break,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they'll hook another, could be as much as an arrow.
Yeah,
by the
you
time
figure
you
a
get
half
from-
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come back from break, you'll have to go, you know, they could open up at that point, but we'll have to wait and see. So, but I foresee a lot of changes in the standings as we progress here.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have standings update after game 2. Eric Julian after 2 is at 475, so shot 175. Game 2 still in first place. Chris Willie 435. So, and then Billy Schroeder 401. So those are the 3 that are plus after game 2. So it'll be interesting. Do you see any indication of ball choice? Surface, pearl, I mean, hybrid.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing everything all over the
Yeah,
board. I'm not seeing anything that, I mean, it looked like control was going to work, but
Sure.
the problem with the control is sometimes it wants to burn early, and then again with the back ends and a little bit of hang, you just don't get it to flip. Then you square it up and it goes through the nose. So I don't know. I think Brandon is going to change to a little bit more of a shinier ball.
Sure.
Going to go to a high wire now and see if
Okay.
he can open up the lane a little bit, open up the heads. Where if he gets it in just a little bit in the front, it'll push for him a little
Sure.
bit. But I mean, overall, to be honest, what I'm seeing people have success with is not a lot on it. Kind of just in between third and fourth arrow and swinging it to about 12, and it just keeps them out of trouble. If
Right.
they get it in, it'll either cross or maybe trip a 4. I don't see anybody having success trying to cross a lot of boards is what
No.
I'm trying to get at. So
Yeah, spares I definitely can see are, I mean, of course, anytime, but today, huge with just the lane conditioning.
Oh yeah, no question about it. You have to make those spares. And most of these kids now, I tell you, it's not like back in the day. They're training.
Oh, yeah.
These kids are athletes. They work out. They have training regimens. Whether it be in high school, whether it be college.
Right.
It's not,
Not like it used to be.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of practicing, and they get a lot of opportunity to bowl on tougher patterns.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, and I mean, you even got pin setters that can set your spares now, just so you can
absolutely.
shoot at a 10-pin all day long or 7-pin, vice versa. So
Absolutely, and I do see. I really believe that today's kids shoot spares much better than say a decade or two ago,
Agreed.
because it's just they just train more, they work harder, and they're emphasized more from their coaching that they need to make their spares and need to practice, not
Yeah.
hit that reset button in practice. So
yeah, technology has come a long way with just being able to what we can replicate and put out a burn house shot, for example.
Yeah.
And just practice
absolutely.
spares or something like that.
And proprietors, they're really willing to work with the kids and with people to try to get that open play business. If you have a demand for people that want to even at least have a couple pairs of lanes that have a sport pattern on it, and they promote that a little bit, you'll get some players out there that'll come out and spend an extra $15 or $20 on open play. And right now, as we all know, we could use any open play we can get. So I recommend actually people that own centers to promote that and use that as an opportunity, because people either go into like national USBCs and this and that. It just makes you a better player. You got to challenge yourself. You got to work at your game. But if you don't bowl on harder shots, it's really hard to see if you're improving.
Right,
So,
right. And once you see that improvement too, I see those kids going and bowling adult leagues and just keeping it in that center, and a bigger turnaround for recouping the youth bowlers that
All right, bowlers, as
have
we're
been,
heading into the fourth game here.
yeah,
Just
I
out of
understand what you're
it,
saying.
so
Totally.
for the lack of a better word.
Exactly, and it prepares them for college. I mean,
Yeah.
there's too much money to be had in terms of scholarships right now
Absolutely.
for the kids, not to. If they have to sacrifice and have their scores, and many parents may be a little discouraged on that, I encourage them not to be that way,
Right.
because it's not so much. Everything's relative. If
Right.
the scores are going to be low like today, then let them be low.
Absolutely.
But if your son or daughter has an opportunity to go to school and they get half of it paid, it's worth coming out to these tournaments and taking a little bit of a hit right now to be better long term.
Absolutely.
So
for the scholarship opportunities, I mean,
it's tremendous. It really is good for these kids. And
right.
Again, to place that
I mean,
order, go to
the
entrance desk
collegiate
located
programs
in
that you have now, I mean,
44.
even the increase in success with those collegiate bowlers. I mean, you look at your son, you look at A.J. Johnson, you look at Marshall Kent. I mean, all those bowlers, started in tournaments like these. I mean, we, and just went through college
and you do, like you said, absolutely, and you do take your hits at the beginning until you get used to what's going on. So, and then if you have good, can find a coach to give you some help on that. There's all kinds of stuff online you can look up on your own now even, but I completely encourage people to get out, bowl on the toughest patterns they can. You will get better. Try different things. Think outside the box.
Right.
Don't get locked into, I have to throw the ball this way on all patterns, and then I have to. Got to be able to be versatile. Yeah, you got to be able to be versatile with your releases a little bit, and be patient. Patience is the key, because you're going to have your game. The key is really to get your 140s and 150s up to 170s and 180s. If you can do that on your grind games, you're going to be okay.
Right. Make a couple extra spares. I mean, you're right. You're right up there. And it's people say, well, I split, or I made something. I had something that wasn't makeable, but if you just turn that into, maybe a 610 or something like that, it's definitely an increase in average over the course of the season.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
But it looks like right now we have Kayla Crawford, who actually won the U20 girls division up on 19 and 20 down there. So
Kayla's just terrific. I've seen her all over the place. She's an amazing young bowler, not only on the lanes, but she's terrific off the lanes.
Absolutely.
She comes off the lane, she's just an absolute class act. Treats people with respect. It's wonderful to see a girl like this have success.
Absolutely, yeah. And won Pepsi, I believe, earlier in the year.
She did. Sorry, just cut you off.
No,
she just made the washout. So
awesome.
Nice shot.
Yeah, no kidding. Won Pepsi, I believe, not too long ago. So, I mean, definitely somebody to look out for.
I believe last weekend she won the EYT over there, Deandra's tournament. She won that one. So she's got a complete package. She's going to continue to improve. Maybe she's going to be a PWBA member here in the next 3-4 years, whatever the case is. And looks like that tour is helping the ladies. And
definitely
she's definitely the type that would be the potential to go out there and do some damage. So
definitely somebody to watch for throughout college. I believe she just finished her freshman year, so to have those accomplishments after your freshman year is huge.
Yeah, so I didn't realize she was just a freshman.
Yeah,
so
freshman or sophomore.
She's got a lot of room to continue to learn and grow. So you got Richie Zenner on lane. Is that 19?
19, yeah.
Yeah, he's a left-handed player. Nice little player. I think he's going to college next year. I'm not sure where he's going, but he's headed off to college. I think he just graduated high school, and he's got a lot of talent as well.
Yeah, we see quite a few kids graduating high school this year, going off to school. I know a lot of the players that throughout the years we kind of just you go through the motions, new ones come in, old ones graduate, and like I said, A.J. Johnson and Marshall Kent, they went on and bowled for the PBA, and
it's pretty amazing stuff. They're super talented, and again, their training regimens and their practice sessions and this and that are not taken lightly.
Absolutely,
they're serious, and both of those are tremendous. Not only, just their athletic ability. You can just see their athletes, and they're definitely of the top tier, and great futures ahead of them.
Right. Yeah, and it's something that's definitely changed, I think. You look at Wichita's tryouts. I've never experienced them, but I heard they are pretty brutal.
I got firsthand knowledge of that this past year, and in the fall, I tell you, it's a grind. And it's they're looking at your physical ability, but how do you handle adversity? How do you handle situations that
on and off the lanes?
Yeah, on and off the lanes, and they're looking at the mental side, the emotional side of how you're handling situations, and when you have 3-4 opens in the first 5 frames. What are you doing? Are you visually angry? Are you able to calm yourself down and continue to make shots one by one? Where are you at? Where's your mindset? And they're looking at that. That's why they make it so hard. I mean, I think it was 3 straight weeks of 3-game sets. I don't recall how many games they bowled, but it was a ton of games on all kinds of shots, all kinds of patterns, and it is very grueling. But what I'm seeing with the youth bowlers now today is definitely just a tremendous amount of talent. And the two-handers, we just watched, I don't know this young man's name, but we just watched a guy in front of us on 25 and 26, two-handed player, and
is that the lefty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're seeing those more and more, and I think you're going to continue to see an increase in the two-handed style.
Sure. No, I agree. I think for multiple reasons. I think number one, I don't know, since it's so new, I don't know the long-term effects, but I think it might be one of those things that might be able to help out arthritis and all those that typical.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see here in the next decade, 5 to 10 years, on what that style does to you long term. I think short term, it's an easy, kind of quick way to learn how to hook the ball.
Right.
If you have, I have a younger child, Brett. He's 7 years old. He can't throw it one-handed, so he has to throw it two-handed.
Right.
So I think what happens is you get these younger kids who can't throw it one-handed, and they just kind of learn the timing develops with the two hands, and all of a sudden they're hooking the ball, and obviously that margin of error gets there, and it's automatically there, and now it's like, well, what's the benefit of going to one-handed if if I already can throw it two-handed? And I'm not sure that there is one, other than if you can master getting your accuracy close enough.
Right.
Because even when the lanes are hard, when they start, at some point they are going to open up. So if you can get through the first few games and you're two-handed and you have some knowledge and can make a spare, you're going to be in good shape.
Right.
And with the amount of equipment that is out on the market right now, where you can play all the different angles and all the different lane conditions with just making a ball change in some cases, you've opened up a wide array of being able to have that power, even smaller kids.
Right.
I mean, you look at a Wesley Lowe. I mean, the kid, he bowled at Wichita with my son as well, and had a tremendous year and is on Junior Team USA for multiple years, and he's not a big guy, but I'll tell you what, he's got as much RPMs and much power as anybody out there right now. So, and he makes spares and he's accurate with it.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
and I think more coaches are learning now to teach that, and what
accept it.
Right,
yeah.
and what do they have to do to make the two-hander better, in what body motions and movements that they're making to get them solid at the line.
Right.
If you watch Belmont when he first came out, he was a little, he obviously he had the power, he had the talent, he could open up the lane, blah, 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 but I'll tell you what, over the last, when he really started to have success, if you watched him post a shot, all of a sudden he wasn't falling off anything.
Yeah, no.
Every shot was just absolutely posted, and that's when he went to he completely started another level. So it's fun to watch as the game evolves. I know there's a lot of controversy with it. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it, because I tell you what, if you're able to do something, more power to you.
Right. It adds another element.
And you know what?
Too.
I'm not going to let anybody else's game take away from what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm worried about what they're doing, guess what? I'm not worried about what I'm doing.
Yep.
So I think more people need to focus on that as well. There's too much. We need to create positive situations, in regardless of opinions, and we just need to have open minds on everything. So.
And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, of course, you hear the rules that come out with the USBC regarding ball choice with the U.S. Open and other tournaments, etc. But it'll be interesting to see where they end up and what the rules end up being, because like you said, it's so new that it's not trying to prohibit anybody from doing greatness, but it's just different technology arises and different findings, and they always
Yeah.
research, and so it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, it'll
where-
be interesting to see where it ends up.
Yeah.
You're right. And you know what? A lot of the traditionalists, I get it. I do get it.
Right.
Okay. I'm not saying that those people are wrong.
Yeah.
Because, everyone has an opinion, and I respect that, and we all should. But, we got to be able to accept different styles and different things as we progress in any sport. Well, it'll be interesting to see where it ends up, and
Right. Yeah,
we'll
without
see
a
what
doubt.
happens. So it's fun to watch, regardless. I
Yeah.
think if for the average spectator, it's like I think it brings this sense of excitement to the game a little bit
Absolutely.
more. And,
Well, you look at players like Kyle Anderson. Even I mean,
oh yeah,
years ago when he started erupting, and everybody's like, "Oh, that kid, he has a unique swing." But throughout the tournament, or when he first started, they're like, "Wow, he could hit a dime on a board." I mean,
right. And you
it's
know what?
not
That's an
about
absolutely perfect example of a situation where you talk about a class kid.
Oh,
this,
yeah, absolutely.
This kid is one of the most respectful kids that I know in bowling right now. I mean,
Absolutely.
you walk down a concourse and he's just saying hi to everybody. And that's the
Everybody.
way it should be.
Yeah.
You know what? If you know somebody, say hi to him.
Yeah, exactly.
This,
Exactly.
it makes everything a little bit more cordial. But getting back to your point, yeah, I mean, he was able to develop his game, and he basically said, "I understand that I'm not what the book
Right.
says, but I can repeat it." And
Right.
that's what our game is about.
Right.
Everybody has a unique game, but if you can repeat it,
That's
it
key.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay. So the other side of the coin, I would encourage the young people not to get so mechanical.
Right.
Let their natural athletic ability take over, and if their game's a little unique, that's okay.
Absolutely.
As long as you can repeat it, as long as you, work to perfect what you're trying to do, and make the same shots that you can with your body.
Right.
That's really all it is. There's too many different styles out there to say that this is the way you need to throw the ball. That's not the case. You find out what works for you, and just work at that.
Right. Yeah. And
Use that as your base. Now, you always need to work on your versatility as well, but as your base, you have to have a foundation.
Of course.
And once you get that, then you can start manipulating ball rolls and rotation and rev rate and tilts, and we can go on and on. But
Right.
Remember, you have to be yourself. You have to bowl your own game to
You have
some
to start
degree.
somewhere,
yeah,
right? Yep.
Absolutely. So that was a great example,
Yeah.
Joey. I'll tell you, Kyle is just he's been winning a lot of tournaments recently.
Oh, yeah.
Now that he's gone adult to full blown.
yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he graduated this year, college.
He
or if he's
he
going into
graduated with me
okay.
15. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's been out.
He's
now.
been out for a little bit.
I know he's been bowling all over the place and having a lot of success.
Oh, yeah.
So, and
Yeah,
just
he's-
a great kid, great attitude, and that's what I look for these days. I mean, I love the kids with the attitude of still being cordial. I mean, everyone's going to have their off moments,
Sure.
but you want to try to maintain a positive attitude regardless of the situation, because, it just projects the sport the way we want it to project it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean the respect that he gives to everybody, it definitely is a breath of fresh air, because you might not have to like somebody, you might not have to like the style of their bowling, but it definitely makes the tournament easier, and life
absolutely.
easier, that you can just say, hey,
Couldn't
how are you
agree more.
doing? So
Could not agree more. And I'll tell you, you have to be able to separate beyond the lane and off the lane, because there's a
Absolutely.
lot of people that have a lot of fire on the lanes,
and then take
and
it. Yep.
it's sometimes thought of as maybe being arrogant. But
Sure.
you got to look at what they're like off the lanes before you judge them, because they could be when they're on the lanes, it's a different animal. They're
Right.
trying to compete, and it's a fine line between that fire and that cordial side of things too.
Right.
I'm one to say, go after it.
Right.
If you're one to run out a shot or slap out a shot, by all means, go for it, because when you step off the lanes, you have to be willing to, continue to, whether it be help a friend if they're not lined up, or if they come and just just common sense.
Right.
Being cordial and having common sense is the key. So
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're both there to do the same thing. You're
Right.
both there to win. If one of you loses, I mean, you should still be able to, at the end of the day, sit there and watch the final match with your buddy. So
exactly, couldn't agree more.
But yeah,
I'll tell you, there's another girl I want to point out in this thing.
Yeah.
Well, the U15 division.
Absolutely.
Her first name is Mabel. I cannot remember her last name, but I'll tell you, this girl is just, she's someone we all need to watch here going forward and into the future. She's in the U15, so she's probably like maybe a freshman.
Sure.
She just has a great game. And,
Let's see if we can
I
pull it
think
up.
she's in the lead right now.
Cummins.
Yeah, Mabel Cummins. So
Oh,
she was
wow,
at 426 after 2. So she would have been in second place or third in the U20 men's.
U20 men's.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
this girl's just solid. I never really met her. I've just watched her in the tournaments.
Sure.
I've actually never talked to her or her family, but she's just a pleasure to watch. She's super solid at the line, and she's someone to keep an eye on as she gets going and see what school she ends up with here in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Yeah, it
Time
looks like
goes by
she's
so
at
fast these days,
602 after
she's
3
at
now, so
602,
she's
so-
+2, which and the U20 boys would be in 4th place right now, which
There
is
you go.
quite a
Yeah.
accomplishment.
There you go. So
But yeah, I mean that's something cool to watch.
Yeah.
Just being able to see the different talent aspects of it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's the fundamentals. She's got really good fundamentals, and something you can tell is that she puts a lot of work in
That's good.
out
Yeah.
there. So
We'll have to see where she's at.
I think
See
she
if
was
we can
going
catch
right.
on the
I
live
think she
stream.
was
Okay.
going right, so she may have turned
She
the
might
corner
have
down
made
there,
the turn
but we'll
already.
see. That's Josh Singer on 19, I believe. He's a talented left-handed player. Uses a lot of urethane. That's the other thing. The lefties, you'll notice they use a lot of urethane these days, regardless of pattern.
Yeah.
I think that Jesper on the tour. I mean, at one
Yeah.
of the tour stops, he
It
had like
was
7
all-
or 8 urethane
yeah,
balls
just
that they had
urethane,
brought.
yep.
It's like, holy moly! But if again on the left, you're not going to have the early hook as much, and you're
Right.
going to have a lot more fresh back end
Right.
pair. So you can get away with that. Boy, when they can get lined up with it, woo,
Right.
they can do some damage. So
And that's just the ratio of the game. I mean, right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been the other way around, where there's, I mean, maybe just in general, left-handed versus right-handed, but yeah, definitely more fresher surfaces, more
right.
more fresher patterns, just less people playing on the left-hand side, so
Right.
it definitely gives them something where they could use urethane.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously that old controversy, but for myself, I don't know. I mean, there's too much feast or famine for me on the left.
Sure.
A lot of people say they want to be. I don't know. I'm fine because I know at some point I'm going to be able to, find a spot where it's going to hook back.
Right.
Typically. But when they're on, man, it's
Yeah.
they can be really tough.
Well-
I know Kyle. We were talking about
Oh,
Kyle
yeah,
Anderson.
yep.
He uses a ton of urethane.
Yep,
so.
it's one of his best friends. I mean, but I mean, it's also could be a downfall for some players too, where put out a pattern where they might be expecting something and urethane's not going to work,
Right.
or just and that's
Right.
where
And the other, since we're talking a little bit about lanes and this and that, I'll tell you, if you're young out there, take a look at how to lane transitions and
Absolutely.
what you need to do, because every time you throw a shot, the oil is doing something, whether
Yeah.
it's being picked up off the lane or pushed down the lane. So if you throw if you're trying to, remember, we're always trying to create oil left of us
Right.
and dry right of us.
Right.
Okay, so if you throw your first shot and you're hitting the 4th arrow, you're taking the
Yeah.
oil that you want in the middle, you're taking that away from yourself.
yeah,
So remember, always try to throw your practice shots to the
Yeah.
right and break yourself a spot in practice. That's going to be the one game you're going to be able to actually create a little bit of something for yourself.
right.
Instead of going to the next pair and have to be on whatever's left over. So again, these are things you'll learn as you go, but definitely
see
start
that-
with
you
surface
see
to
that
the
in,
right and see what happens. So.
Absolutely, you see that in college. I mean, a lot of I'd say 90% of the coaches will say, "Okay, we're going to go up 5 just to create a bump room and make sure we get it to the break point and break it down from there."
Right, exactly. Agreed.
And not start at at 30 trying to hook the lane and
Yeah,
You know,
the first ball will never win you a tournament.
No, exactly.
That I can tell you.
Exactly.
And practice.
Yeah.
Now it's funny that I have a running joke in some of the practice sessions that I go to, and I'm walking my stuff back to the paddock or whatever, and I'll say, "Well, I think I'm in first place." I won practice, guys. I don't know how I'm going to do in the tournament, but I think I'm leading practice.
If you're not first, you're last.
Right. So you're never going to do it. So always remember, you're manipulating your pair when you get on.
Right.
So because typically your first, at least from these young kids, they can get loose in one shot. But for us older guys, it takes 6 or 7 shots. Yeah, to really get to where you're actually going to be the speed and rotation as your max capacity or whatever you want to call it. And so those first few shots are nothing more than loosen up shots. So you don't want those to affect your pattern if you can at all. So like coming into today, I would have probably started with something with a lot of surface to the right and see if I could at least burn a spot, knowing that they were going to be flatter and knowing that the characteristics of this house tend to be a little bit flatter and a little bit slicker right. Even when they put out a short pattern in this particular establishment, still hangs to the right a little bit. So
whether it's topography or
it
something.
Could be. And the heads tend to be a little soft.
Sure.
Where they bounce on occasion. If you get the ball out on the lane, the ball seems like it wants to bounce a little bit as well. So, but I tell you, there's a lot of talent out here today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent out here today, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all
pans
out here.
Second set, games 5 through 8 will be interesting.
Absolutely. I'm seeing scores all over the place, Joey.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they're up, they're down. I see a nice game here on lanes 28. We got a 220 going for Emily Schrader. Looks like she's going to shoot 221 this game, so I'm sure that's going to help her a ton.
Looks like she's in 12th with 5:08 after 3. So
that's going to help her quite a bit. That might put her up into the top 5 after this game.
Yeah, so something to watch out for. 221.
That's a nice game. That's probably like a 240 game.
Oh yeah.
At this scoring pace.
Yeah. I mean, on a sport condition, I mean But any plans? Have you bowled nationals?
I did. I bowled nationals last weekend, and then actually was fortunate enough to do decent out there this year.
Awesome.
Was able to manipulate, as I discussed earlier, with some surface to the right and pushed a little oil down the middle and was able to get something going there in doubles and singles. Our team struggled a little bit, but doubles and singles we really transitioned to lanes nice, so we had good looks. So
very cool.
Yeah, no complaints coming from here.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've heard they've been pretty tough this year.
Yeah, they were tough. They're definitely tough.
Which goes without saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so then this goes back to what we were discussing earlier about releasing patterns. And,
right.
That next year we won't know what that pattern is. So there'll be a lot of scouting and,
a lot of live stream action.
Yeah. So, and again, back in the day, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy about that, but, give it a try. Let's see what happens here before we throw out a judgment on the situation. And who knows, a lot of the higher end bowlers, they're a little bit annoyed with that right now, but you know what I say, those guys know how to read their ball better, so they don't let the ball be the guide, and they should really have a better advantage now than some of the guys that may not know even what to even expect or how to even read a lane or throw a ball down the lane and then be able to read what the ball's doing. So you got to take the positive out of situations.
Right. Yeah. All those rule changes. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening next year. I know with the new rules coming out. So.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I really try to, you could criticize, but you know what? People are working hard to make this game the best that they can, and
fair.
It's not going to help criticizing situations. You take the best out of it, and you know what? You have to deal with what life throws your way. So. We'll see how it goes. And you know what? Next year will be fun because it's at the South Point. The first time the men will be at South Point.
Yeah, that's a nice place. I don't know if you've been there.
Well, we were there with Joey.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
we went straight from Reno to Vegas, so we bowled she bowled back-to-back. I went and watched, obviously, and that South Point is just
It's gorgeous.
really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna
we'll
a
be
lot
out
of
there.
fun.
We'll be out there in a couple weeks for Bowl Expo, so
Oh, sweet. Really nice.
it'll be fun. Yeah, that's a nice place. South Point does a nice job.
They do. The way they set up the center and
Yeah.
the paddock and the refreshment area. I mean, it was really well thought out, and really looking forward to the men's there next year. And I think it's going to be a blast.
Syracuse after that?
I believe it is
Yeah.
Syracuse after that. Yeah. So it'll be back in a convention center and then back to Reno again.
Yeah.
So. And then after that, I think there's going to be a lot of Reno and Vegas back to
I think
back.
it's, yeah.
So, and you know what? That's what they built those places
Right.
for. You know, I know a lot of people like to go from city to city, but I don't. I like the stadium.
Yeah.
The stadium's a stadium. You cannot create that environment anywhere
Right.
else. And now with South Point, it's kind of that same mode.
atmosphere.
Yeah. Definitely the stadium atmosphere to some degree.
Right. Well, and I think even with the stadium and with now South Point, you'll see, well, hopefully see a lot of people improve. Just because you're returning to the place that you've bowled, and of course every lane's not the same, and of course they're not going to put the same pattern out every year, but you still have that opportunity to bowl in the same place and say, okay, I remember what I did wrong last year. Maybe we can try to work on that for the following year.
Absolutely, that's a great point because the stadium has a lot of its own characteristics.
Oh yeah.
Very pair to pair, but from what I've noticed, that you can find a little bit of a spot in the track. I mean, it does have. I think they put new lanes in not too long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
But there are characteristics, and you're right. You can get used to it. It can narrow down, and that's one of the other issues. Is some people have said, well, we don't know the pattern, so now I got to bring 10 balls or whatever the case is. But you know what? You got to have a medium. You got to have something with shine on it. You got to have something with surface. You got to have a spare ball, and then maybe fit in 2 others.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with 6, in my opinion. I mean, I went out there this year with 8, which one was a burn ball, which was just a 360 that we just burned
used in
up.
practice.
Yeah, used in practice. So basically, I had a spare ball, so that's gone. So now I've got 6. So I probably could have got away with 6 total. Sure. But I ended up only using 3 of them. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
The money that you put into it, you hate to go there and always have something at home, but you do the best you can and work with your team and try to see what you can create
Develop
out
a good
there.
game plan. Yeah.
That's really what it's all about, and people buying into the game plan and sticking to it and being patient, and that's really where you can really have a lot of success. And and those are the teams that do have success year in and year out. I mean,
and they might not win, but between brackets and top place finishes, I mean, they definitely. I know a couple years ago, pulled a sport league with Chris Colosimo. His team does pretty well out there. Ryan, everybody.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. You got to get the right group communicating and buying into
the team atmosphere.
What's going to benefit us as a team the most? I mean, even if it's not your A game, even if it's not a place you like to play on the lanes or a ball that you like to use, it has to be about the team. It has to be about what's going to create something for us and invest into, say, the last 2.5 games. Because the first 5 frames, if you can get out of there when you're remotely clean, in my opinion, you're doing great.
Yeah.
And at that point, the lanes have already transitioned. You've already had your practice session on the pair, your 10 minutes, which you probably get about maybe close to a game on each lane prior to that. And then within the first 5 frames, you're getting another couple games on each lane. So the lanes at that point, you're able to see what you can do, and then you can start making some bigger moves. So, but you got to have people that are going to buy into it.
Right. Do you do the practice session?
We did this year.
Yeah.
We did just to kind of get comfortable. We did that, and we did the BJ, a couple squads of the BJ to get comfortable. And they were actually pretty close.
Yeah.
So it looks like the scores are, again, still very grind mode right now. I mean, 550 is going to put you in the top 10 in the U20 division. After 3, we'll see what these game 4 has to offer and see where the scores go. But looks like he's still maintaining that first place spot, kind of riding at 300 right now, which I don't blame him.
Take it while you can.
Yeah, take it while you can. So
Yeah, still after 3. Chris Willie looks like he jumped into first
Oh,
with
okay.
647,
There you
and
go.
then
Yeah,
Eric
he did get jumped. Yeah,
shot 160 his third game, so dropped him a little bit, but
still right there.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Anybody's tournament still
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
you still only have 3 plus for the U20 boys, and
It's
then
not even 100 pins from 10th
No.
to first. So, and if somebody has a bad game and somebody gets hot, it's gonna be
Yeah.
an 80-pin swing in one game. 240, 160. That's 80 pins. So,
gap for the girls for U20 is a little more.
yeah. Kayla,
Yeah, about 60
consistent.
pins.
See what she's able to do. She's able to grind and get
Yeah.
that 190.
And these, I was watching her a little bit at the other end, and these were definitely results of spare making. I mean, she did not do anything special, but it was something where she just put herself in a position to make spares, and that's where she just keep the lead and maybe make a game plan or
Sure.
a ball change afterwards.
Sure,
you
yeah,
never
she-
know what to expect.
Yeah, she obviously was able to stay out of designer spares and trouble,
Right.
so she was able to keep the pocket in front of her and fill frames. When you're bowling on this and with the scoring pace right now, it's all about filling the frames.
Yeah.
I mean, it breaks down to just is simple, fundamental. I'm trying to knock down 10 in 2 shots.
Yeah.
That's if you can break it down to that.
It's like golf.
Yeah,
You shoot for a 2-putt every time, and
that's it. That's it.
looks like she only opened once this game. Looks like she can strike out for 188. It looks like maybe. So I mean, still not bad.
That's not going to hurt her. Yeah,
No.
that's not going to hurt her.
With that type of lead. So
There's Josh with a nice
Yeah.
shot, 2-hander, probably throwing urethane.
yeah. Or was that Zach? Maybe that was Zach.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Singer. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, he's at about 180 pace. He can strike
Yeah.
out for 200 here.
Let's see what.
Here comes Kayla again. She can double, get into the 180s. Looks like she's had 1 strike this game, so
Yeah.
she's really on either on a
She's-
pair that's a little tricky or just in a transition phase right now. But
Right.
she only had 1 open, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's still good. Can't walk away from that
No.
game.
See if she can. Looks like she got that inside a little. But
See, there you go. This is
Yeah.
exactly what we discussed. She was able to stay out of trouble there. She
Right.
may have got that ball in a little bit,
but she only
but it
4
pushed
pins.
and she only
Yep.
4 pins. So
Yep.
she's in good shape. I think she's going to be happy to. Not going to jinx her here.
Yeah, of course.
So, but yeah,
170. I mean,
yeah.
if she makes a spare, it'll be.
You walk away going into the break, going, "Wow, I grinded my, tail off here to get into the 170s.
Right.
Instead, they could have been a 140, 150 game
Exactly.
instead." And
Missed 2 of those spares.
that's
and,
what we discussed earlier
right.
in terms of getting an extra 20 pins when you can kind of see your game is not going to be a 220, 230.
Right.
You get into what I like to call, at least for me, is a pin management game.
Yeah.
It's what do I need to do to get as many pins as I can?
Yeah.
All right, we
She
didn't
makes a
jinx her.
spare.
She made the
Yeah.
spare.
Awesome.
And she's going to be in the 170s this
Yeah.
game, and going to the
177
break. And I'm sure
hopefully,
she'll
and-
come out of the break with a game plan.
Yeah. Maybe talk to her coaches
Yeah, it
that
looks
she
like
is
she's
here. Or dad's
collaborating
here, I
with
believe.
somebody right now back
Yeah.
there. She's looking back, but she's extremely versatile and open-minded to suggestions and
Absolutely.
always observing. I see her watching a lot of other bowlers and just observing what they're doing and taking it all in, and that's really what it's about.
Yeah. She's the type of person that will arrive, maybe an hour early or something, just to watch the previous squad finish up and see
Right.
what they had to
She
offer.
just made a ball change.
She did.
I think she might have went to.
Wasn't all bad as she carries all
She
the time.
carries, yeah.
A
Well, we
menace,
know that
maybe.
fill ball is about a 95% carry
Yeah.
percentage, but I think she went to a high wire there.
High wire, all right.
Again, you're looking at giving her a little bit more push and something that's going to get to the back and have that energy to be able to turn the
Right.
corner.
Store the energy
Give
for
a little
later.
bit. Yeah, I mean, the theory is if you miss a little bit in the fronts, that shine will push you to the spot.
Right.
And if she leaks it a little, when it gets there, that energy that's stored should maybe turn the corner and give her a chance to come in light. But
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that's one of those balls too that kind of shines up a little bit. So
Yes.
the more you use it,
the high wire. I'm sorry, haywire.
Haywire.
My fault.
Haywire.
The haywire comes shiny. I think that's what she threw.
Oh, okay, okay.
Zach had another strike
Yeah,
there, so
he
he's grinding this game back a little bit.
Yeah, on pace for 200. Yeah, it's one of those balls that will retain that sort of shine, so it doesn't overreact in the mid or early on, just to store that energy.
Yeah, that core in that ball, that's the old disturbed core in that
Oh,
ball.
yeah.
And that was one of the best balls that Roto's put out.
Yep, I still have one at home.
And yeah, I hear you. And they use that core and they put a nice hybrid cover stock on it. And I'll tell you, it's
Carries
got a lot of
number
good
two,
reviews.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Nice shot there by Zach again.
Definitely.
This is what I'm talking about, is that when you get in a situation to be able to dig in your gut and get a couple shots in the 9th and 10th. Now, he took a game that could have easily been 170.
Right.
And he made some crucial shots, and now he's going to be, no matter what, he's going to be in the 190s.
Right.
He keeps on the lane here. So.
And he had 2 opens.
And exactly.
So, I mean, definitely.
Bang.
Yeah,
so now he's
200.
gone into the break with a positive,
definitely.
positive situation now. He's coming off the lanes at 200, which, as we've said, is probably 210, 215 on this scoring pace. And he's got to be feeling pretty good going in the next set.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
Richie's going to throw the last ball of the entire
house
block. So.
Yeah. So, well, awesome. Well, we are, I think we are good for the break.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you, Vince.
Appreciate
I appreciate
it. It's been
it.
a lot of fun. It's my first
We'll
time
touch
being
base
on
after
live stream.
yeah.
And
I appreciate
touch
you're the
base
first
with me.
guest. So,
hey, it's been a lot of fun. I always like to talk bowling. And,
yeah, definitely.
Be a positive force in our sport. So it's a lot of fun. I appreciate you asking me. So
yeah, not a problem. Maybe we'll get you back in after the
Maybe.
break and.